Welcome back to Swing and a Miss. The pumpkins have used their last candle. The bags of candy are dwindling, and the 2025 World Series is buried 6 feet under. This Halloween week special finds us sifting through the graveyard of every inspired swing, ghostly bullpen meltdown, and phantom home run that kept us on the edge of our seats.
The Los Angeles Dodgers, champions once more, dispatched the Toronto Blue Jays 4-3 in the series. A Game 7 thriller that lurched into its 11th inning before the final stake was driven through the heart of Toronto's dreams.
The Blue Jays opened with a thunderous roar, roaming the field in Game 1 like zombies unleashed, an 11-4 blowout to shock the champs. Then, the Dodgers summoned a dark magic of their own, a marathon Game 3 that lasted 18 innings, the kind of contest you see in nightmares and tell your grandkids about.
Game 7, pure horror movie material. With the Jays ahead late, it seemed they had 1 foot out of the crypt and into championship glory. Until veteran Miguel Rojas, a utility infielder who hasn't hit a homer off a right-hander all season, smashed one in the 9th to tie it. Ghosts of October past shrieked in the night.
And then in the 11th, Will Smith rose from the mound of the damned and crushed the extra innings homer that ended the Blue Jays' nightmare run and gave the Dodgers their 9th title.
On this haunted night, the Blue Jays might have outrun the Dodgers in raw offense across the series, but it was Los Angeles' bullpen, deep, dark, and unrelenting, that held the spirits at bay. Of course, none more spectral than Yoshinobu Yamamoto, named Series MVP, who closed the deal and left Toronto's ghosts with nothing but ashes.
So strap in. Tonight, we'll dig up
the moment the Jays seemed destined to rise, and the one when the Dodgers dragged them back into the grave.
the heroes who emerged from the shadows, and the villains whose mistakes will haunt them all winter.
And of course, the spine-tingling plays, the haunted bases, the eerie quiet after the final out when Los Angeles sealed the deal and Toronto's hope turned to mist.
So turn off the lights, crack open a candy bar, and let's walk through the tombstones of the Fall Classic. Because this story doesn't just end with the confetti, it's got all the chills, thrills, and haunted echoes of October. Welcome to Swing and a Miss, the baseball podcast that doesn't just recount the game, it resurrects it. Welcome in to Swing and a Miss, the World Series recap, and most of us are not pleased with how that turned out.
I'm half pleased with how it turned out because we got a fantastic series. So
Sure.
I had a rooting interest. It wasn't a strong rooting interest, and I'm just excited that we got a really good 7-game series.
That makes two of us, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm happy we got a 7-game series. I'm happy it was a good series. I'm just not happy with who won. Nels, are you happy with who won?
Before I say anything, my dad is a lifelong Los Angeles Dodgers fan. So I am happy for him that he got to see his team win a couple, especially in his retirement years when he got to just sit back, kick back, and relax, not have to work or anything. So I'm happy that he's happy.
But you've been sending all his calls straight to voicemail, right? Just, nope, don't want to hear it right now. Don't want to hear it
I'm
right now.
talking to you right now.
We had a congratulatory text exchange today. So congrats to him. I'm glad he's happy. But no, I'm not happy at all about any of this and how it turned out. It's all bad and dark and gloomy.
3 of the games were good.
Yeah.
With the outcome.
Big overarching question. Do we think the best team won?
I've seen this debated online.
Okay.
And so if we're looking, the Blue Jays won their games 11-4, 6-2, and 6-1. So they handed the Dodgers pretty good when they beat them.
Yeah, they took the belt to them.
Yes. The Dodgers won 5-1, 6-5 and 18, 3-1, and that's the one where the base running blunder at the end of the game, and then 5-4 and 11. So their wins were a lot tighter.
Yes.
So there's an argument that could be made that Toronto may have been the better team, but not at the right time.
I don't buy into the run differential making you a better team though. I don't buy into that. I thought it was a very even series, and no matter who won, you couldn't say, well, the better team didn't come out on top. I thought both teams were pretty evenly matched for most of the series.
I think it's hard to say that the better team, quote unquote, didn't win in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
The better team can lose even in a 3-game series. I think that you can go cold pitching, you can go cold hitting. We've seen that plenty of times. Or even in a 1-game playoff. I don't know that I don't buy the fact that the Dodgers won the series, more so that I think the Blue Jays lost it.
That's
I
the camp
disagree.
I'm in, 100%.
I disagree.
I can point to 1,000 ways that the Blue Jays did not take advantage.
And we'll break
and
them
I can
down
also-
1 through 1,000.
And I can also point to about 1,000 ways that stuff like incredible defense kept the Blue Jays in the game.
Yes.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. may have single-handedly saved 30 runs in that series.
Oh, yeah.
What I would say is that when the Blue Jays batters came up to the plate, I had expectations that almost every single one of them could do something at that at-bat. I was not ruling them out. But as the series went on, I was dismissing some of the Dodgers' big hitters. I wasn't expecting much out of Mookie Betts. I wasn't expecting much out of Freddie Freeman. And you know, they both had big hits in this series, and they both had contributed to wins.
1-2 of the games.
Yes, 100%. But, you know, one, it took 18 innings, and the other one, it was only because after the 6th time giving Shohei Ohtani an intentional walk, Mookie finally made him pay.
Also, the worst intentional walk. You don't walk him there in, like, what, the 2nd inning, 3rd inning, whatever it was. You're leading the series 3-2. It's early in the game. That is when you pitch to him. Game on the line?
Sure.
Yes.
But to your point, Tyler, do you know how many players on the Dodgers roster hit over 250 in the World Series?
I would say none.
Maybe 1,
2.
2. Is
Will-
Rojas one of them?
Nope. Will Smith and Shohei. That's it.
Sure.
And then you look
Which is
down-
incredible because Shohei was 0 for 8 in a stretch,
Yeah.
and still hit incredible for the series because of that one game.
But then you look at the averages for the Blue Jays: 480, 348, 367, 250, 333, 308, 351. They were mashing the ball. They were getting good hits. They were getting on base. And yeah, you can chalk a lot of that up to defense and pitching, and quite a few of those were stopped by great pitching and great defense. But the Blue Jays had so many opportunities that they just did not take advantage of. There's one in particular when we get to Game 7 that I want to talk about, but we're not quite there yet. But I don't know, we really haven't talked about a format for the show. Do you want to go game by game?
Let's go game by game.
Okay.
Let's start at Game 1. So to recap where we left off, the Dodgers had swept the Phillies in 4 games, and the Blue Jays had gone the distance against the Mariners, and that was an exceptionally exciting series as well. So I guess maybe the lesson we learned is just put Blue Jays in the playoffs every year. And Game 1 was won 11-4 by the Blue Jays, which sort of, I guess I would say, when we went into that game, the big concern we had was the Dodgers bullpen, and the Dodgers bullpen was the Achilles heel in that game. So you had Sheehan and Banda that both came in trying to put out a fire for Snell, and both buttons imploded on the Dodgers because Sheehan came in with the bases loaded and left with the bases loaded. Banda left with the bases empty, but only because he gave up 2 home runs in his outing, one of which was a grand slam.
Sheehan's ERA for the World Series, 6.75. Banda's 18. Yeah.
There's a reason we didn't see either of them in Game 7.
No,
we didn't see
saw a
any
whole
reliever
lot
in
of
Game 7.
starters
I was going to say it was
instead.
all starters instead. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on game one. Quite honestly, I never put a lot of stock into game one of a 7-game series. It could still go so many different ways, but I was encouraged to see how the Blue Jays hit. I was encouraged to see how they scored, and I was encouraged, like you were saying, Tyler, how they got to the bullpen. Because we've been saying all year, the Dodgers bullpen is, or had been up until that point, a question mark at the very kindest.
I think it still is right now today. If they went into the next season with the same bullpen, you'd be like,
Sure.
Yeah.
their bullpen's awful.
Right now on the Dodgers offseason whiteboard, I think bullpen is the only thing that's written on there. I
It's
think
fun to watch
it
them
has to
spend
be.
$1 billion on the bullpen. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, you know what? We'll take that though, because if they want to spend $1 billion on a position group that's notoriously inconsistent, then go ahead and throw all your money there.
Please do.
But
So many teams have tried to buy bullpens and it never works.
But what I would say is that just one fun stat: the Blue Jays had 14 hits. Of all the positions in the batting order, 7 of those 9 positions of the batting order had a hit. So it was all up and down the order, and 8 of 9 positions within the batting order reached base within that game.
Another fun stat about game one, the winning pitcher has one of the most fun names in the history of the world, Sir Anthony Dominguez. Sir Anthony being his first name. I think
And
it's a great
spelled
name.
SERANTHONY.
He was not knighted by the Queen. It's
He was
not
not
Sir Anthony.
It's Sir
Dominguez.
Anthony.
It's
Sir Anthony.
It's an amazing name. And Blake Snell's a losing pitcher. And I got a phone call from somebody this past week that said, your description of Blake Snell and what he looks like as a villain from a 90s action movie, spot on. So I just want to give myself a little pat on the back for that one.
So then game 2.
Let's talk
Game
about
two.
it.
So game 2, I'll start us off with the fact that we're talking about the bullpen implosion that gave up so many runs in game 1. And Yamamoto saw that and said,
Not
we're
today.
not doing that again. And
I think
went
Dave
for
Roberts saw that and said, we're
Well,
not doing that again.
Yamamoto made it
Yamamoto
possible.
came through for him, but I think
Yamamoto made it
Yamamoto was
possible. He went, I mean,
Yamamoto was going to go until he could not go.
If there's one thing that we learned
we still
in this,
haven't reached that point yet, by
if
the
there's
way.
one thing we learned throughout this whole series, it's that Yamamoto will pitch every single inning that somebody will let him pitch.
Yep.
He will never leave the game voluntarily, and he will come into a game at any point in time by volunteering.
There may be a day where he actually fights Dave Roberts for trying to take him out of a game.
I don't know. Does he have that type of?
Yeah, he's so mild
Max
tempered,
Scherzer
mild
in him?
mannered.
yeah, that's
No,
not
maybe
that's
he
not
just goes-
Japanese culture.
He just
No.
goes in there,
Maybe not
quietly
yet.
shoves, and then goes, "Yep, I just dominated you," and walks away. I mean, he was brilliant. Gausman pitched very well in that game
did.
too. It was a great starting pitching matchup, but Yamamoto went the distance. Gausman did not, and
That was
well,
that was
the
a complete
bullpen-
game, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
And the bullpen for the Blue Jays gave up some runs.
Which
I'm
we
curious-
should talk real briefly about how rare that is to see a complete game anyway anymore, especially in a World Series game.
And
That's crazy.
because Yamamoto's last outing in the NLCS was also a complete game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So going back to back is something that I don't know, feels like it would have been unlikely any time after 1984.
Yeah.
You know,
And there's only 105 pitches. I mean,
Yeah.
he's very economical. It's not like you threw like 140 or something crazy
Right,
like that.
Right.
And then the other nice thing is I'm curious what the scenario would have been. You know, it was for the longest time, Gausman and Yamamoto had only allowed 1 run apiece. And then the Dodgers tacked on 4 runs late in the 7th and the 8th inning. So I'm curious if those runs did not occur, if Yamamoto got pulled, if they were, you know, walking that razor's edge, even for as well as he was doing, if the manager just gets a little nervous and says, I got to go to a fresh arm here.
I doubt it.
Not
He gave
with
up
the-
4 hits, no
yeah.
walks. Like
Not-
at no point was he.
And the way the
shaky.
Dodgers bullpen was, Dave Roberts never seemed like he was itching to get to a bullpen
No,
guy.
and especially not after what his bullpen did, but I'm curious in the alternate reality where those runs don't occur, if there's anything that happens, because, you know, Gausman also, you know, he pitched 6 2/3, allowed 4 hits. Now he got touched up a little bit more. He led up 3 runs, but that's still, I think, you know, 1 was on, or 2 were on.
They were on home runs by
Yeah.
Will Smith and Max Muncy.
Yeah, so he essentially it was like 2 bad pitches.
Are we in this alternate reality? Are we living knowing what happened in Game 3, or we're just making the decision in Game 2?
No,
We're just
making the
matching the
decision in game
decision.
two.
in Game
think
2.
he probably lets him go until his arm falls off.
Okay.
Well, maybe not that far.
Yeah, the way the bullpen pitched in game 1, I think that set the tone.
I think it put the fear of God into Roberts.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
he didn't want to hit that.
I
button.
I got to keep the bullpen as far away from this series as I
think
can.
so, yeah. But I don't know. We didn't have to worry about it because Yamamoto was incredible.
Although it wasn't his quote unquote good bullpen that gave up the run, so maybe he would have been a little bit more apt. But let's talk about the 2-for-1 special we got in Game 3.
So for Game 3, I thought it would be fun if we went pitch by pitch, inning by inning, and we just break every pitch down because it only went 18 innings, so it was a short game.
Yep.
That went into I think the following week. That was that last Saturday or last Sunday?
No, that was Monday.
Well,
Because-
good point.
Because
Good point.
I was curious about how everyone was going to be doing in the office on Tuesday.
The funny thing was, so me and producer man over here, Jessica, were in Salem last weekend, and we both had Monday off. And so I had the game on my phone. When
Salem, Massachusetts, not Oregon.
Correct.
For the record,
So
other coast.
I had the game on my phone when we were laying down, and I was like, there's no way that this is going to go 12 innings. There's no way this is going to go 13. No way it's going to go 14, 15, 16. And I fell asleep in the 15th or 16th inning. I had to get the updates from you guys in the morning because I think it was about 2:45 Eastern time
yeah.
when that ended. And I had, I think, 88 text messages between the hour and a half I fell asleep and when the game ended from the three of you.
I stayed up for every pitch, and unlike you, I thought the opposite.
You thought it was
were
going
like,
to keep going?
Yeah, as somebody who had to sit through a painstaking game with a lot on the line with my own team that went Game 7, went 15 innings with the Tigers and the Mariners, I'm like, I've seen this before. This game is just going to keep going.
It was
and going.
crazy.
Now, the one thing that surprised me, though, we talk about the bullpens and the bullpens being bad and all of that. We got down to the absolute break glass in case of emergency. These guys are only on the roster because we need pitchers.
Looking
to
at you,
fill the
Clayton
spots.
Kershaw.
Poor guy warmed up all night last night. Didn't even get to throw a pitch.
Yeah, but Emmett Sheehan, Enriquez, Eduardo Enriquez, and Klein. What can we say about Will Klein? 4 innings. Dude probably shouldn't have even been on the roster. 4 scoreless innings, 5 Ks. And then on the other side, Lauer going 4 2/3. You were getting deep into these pens in the we have no other options.
You were seeing names you hadn't seen all year.
And those guys pitched incredible in that game. So a big, tip of the cap
To both teams.
To both teams' deep parts of their bullpen.
And you had Yamamoto warming up. And
He volunteered.
And you had Shane Bieber warming up, who was going to be the Game 4 starter.
Yeah.
So
Ended up being the
And
Game 4 starter,
he
right?
was still the Game 4
Yeah.
starter, but we were even going beyond the realms of anything that is sane.
Yeah.
Into the I don't know what to do here.
And Dave Roberts did say if that game would have gone another inning, Yamamoto was coming in. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Klein was done after 4, and they are thrilled at that point that Freeman hits that home run so that they don't have to go and get Yamamoto out of the pen. Because at that point,
Think of
they
how
go,
different the
"That's-
series looks if
that's
Yamamoto comes into that game.
Yeah. At that point, they're thinking, that's absolutely insane. How can we go get our pitcher that started and pitched a bunch yesterday and bring him in out of the bullpen? Put a little pin in that one. We'll come back to that later.
But knowing what we know now, you bring Yamamoto into that game, he probably can't pitch in his next
disagree.
outing. Well, he could have, but I don't know that they would have let him.
He
Oh,
probably
I
would
think
have
they
pitched
would've.
Game 7 then.
Right.
Yeah,
But
they
I don't
would've-
think he
they
would
would've
have. I don't
jostled
think he
them
would have
around.
pitched Game 6. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are getting ahead of ourselves. So there are other stories in Game 3. The main one was Shohei Ohtani getting on base
9 times.
9 times. So,
It's got to institute an intentional walk limit.
well, the thing is Shohei's first 4 at bats were 2 doubles and 2 home runs, and his first intentional walk of the game was in the 9th
I was
inning.
going to say, it wasn't in the first
So-
or second inning.
And then 3 more intentional walks and 1 in Unintentional, intentional walk.
One, yeah, we're not going to throw it anywhere 2 feet in front of the plate and just hope he takes a crack at this.
And also that second home run might have been the single worst pitch thrown in Major League history by Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yes.
Just after a mound meeting.
After a mound meeting,
Everybody comes out. Here's how we're going to pitch to him. And I guarantee you that the Blue Jays coaches did not say, throw it right down the middle. A fastball tee high to the best hitter in the game. And he absolutely crushed it.
Sorry to break into the audio, but we have our first ad read that we've ever done. And we're going to do it live, Tyler.
Oh,
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. We didn't tell Tyler about this. But this is our first ad read ever. Ooh, excuse me. Modern Miracle Video and Audio Transfer. Do you have old family movies on VHS or 8mm film? That old recording of Grandma's Last Christmas? Your kid's first ballet recital? That sultry video from Secrets Resort? Get them all transferred to beautiful and clear 4K Blu-ray. Keep your memories clear, even when you can't remember them anymore. Email us at transfers@modernmiraclevideo.com. Adult content is extra.
So, yeah, adult content was exactly what Shohei did to that pitch from Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yes, it was. That was X-rated.
Yeah.
This one was the first of several just horribly blown opportunities by the Blue Jays. They had a 4-2 lead and blew it. They had the 1-run lead in the 7th and they gave up to Ohtani. And then we can just start talking about all the blown opportunities throughout the rest of the game that they had.
One thing
Probably
that I would like
go
to
on for a while doing
bring
that.
up here is what I will call is the blessing and curse of having Bo Bichette in the lineup. Because this was really the first game that Bo Bichette's bad legs cost the team. So there were a couple of different places where Bo Bichette pretty much being on one leg hurt the Blue Jays. The first one came up in the second inning here where Bichette laced a single and got himself on base and then got very confused about the umpire's call. Did not know whether a 3-1 count was called as a strike or a ball.
3-2.
No, 3-1.
It was 3-1.
Was it
3-1?
Yeah.
And then he got caught off just in absolute no man's land. So following up with that,
To be fair, though, the ump needs to make a strong call there. You can't just let
He also
it
needs
be
to make
up to
the
interpret.
correct call because that ball was like a foot above the strike zone.
Right. Everybody thought it was a ball. It looked like a ball, and he started walking down like 3 steps down the baseline before he got, called back.
and Bo Bichette also, a bad leg. He didn't have anything to even pretend to sprint back, so he just gave up on the base paths. Because following that, so he did get out there, and then there was the walk, and then a base hit right after that. So if Bo Bichette has a good leg, he is either on third base or he would have scored right there. And so they would have put the early run on the board, and we wouldn't have ever gotten past the 9th inning if everything else plays out exactly the same way that it
But
does.
at the same time, they did pinch run for him later in the game. And you get Isaiah Kiner-Falefa that had 4 just completely uncompetitive at-bats. You take Bo Bichette out of the game. So they pinch ran for Bichette. They pinch ran for Kirk. They had to pinch hit for Springer because he tweaked his oblique. And in that game, I think bigger than anything that has to do with legs, they just had nobody in the lineup with any threat. And I think that that's a big reason we went 18 is because every one of those extra innings, you're like, oh, Vlad Guerrero's the only guy in this lineup that could maybe do something.
Yeah,
you were out your 3 of your 4 best hitters for an entire game's worth of time.
Yes.
After you pinch ran for both Kirk and Bichette, and unfortunately, they had to take Springer out because he tweaked his oblique and he came out, so that wasn't so much a decision. But you're going, oh, the legs might cost us on the base paths and has cost us on the base paths. Not having those bats in the lineup cost them for an entire game's worth of at bats.
Yep.
So it was a very tough position to be in because it's like you don't expect to go 18 innings. So you're expecting that the legs would be a bigger factor than 5 plate appearances later in the game. But that ended up really haunting them there. Is that you're getting bats out of Heineman and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in big moments, and you're like, well, there goes any threat that they have around Guerrero.
But the blessing of Bo Bichette was he had a 444 on base percentage over the whole of the series. So
He was
even on
fantastic
one
in the
leg, he
box.
was knocking the ball all over the park.
Including a big one in Game 7 when we get there.
Yep.
Blue Jays had 3 outs on the base paths in that game. Gave the Dodgers an entire inning
Yep.
extras worth of outs. And foreshadowing for the rest of the series on how much their base running cost them.
Yeah, what one was your favorite?
Just in this game, or
Just in this game, the outs on the base.
Say, I've got a favorite
I mean, getting picked off is bad. Even with the call, like you still need to, you should be waiting for the umpire's call, not seeing what the batter in front of starts doing.
I will say that's going to set a huge precedent for coaching from here on out.
Well, it won't be a problem next year.
What,
That's getting challenged.
what do you mean?
That bad call.
bad call.
Sure. But you're going to see everybody from now on being taught 3 balls. It doesn't matter what the call is. You go back and you sit on first until somebody makes a call, because you don't have to hurry up to get to second base on a walk.
Yeah.
You think it's ball 4. You just stand on first base until you know that the
Until
call
your
is
teammate
ended.
gets there,
Yeah.
and then you leave
would
for a
also-
second.
Yeah.
And that's going to be what you'll see from now on. You will not see 3 balls unless there's a swing. You will not see guys coming off the base going towards second until the guy's 3/4 of the way down the
But
line.
one thing about that is, shouldn't the base runner on first base be also still seeing the signal, whether it's green light or red light to swing or not? So he should know. He should at least have an idea of whether or not I've got an opportunity to have a lead so I can take off if he's swinging.
Well, even if you have a lead, if there's no swing, you come back to the base.
Yeah, he started walking.
No, I know that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm talking about what you're talking about in the future, where a base runner on first should be obviously in tune with what's being told to the hitter. I would think.
Well, but even that, if the hitter has the green light and it's
Yeah,
a
that's
ball
what-
that's taken outside,
I
then you're
understand
not
that.
that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
I
they have
understand
all the
that.
signs. They know if it's it's green light, he's going to be swinging, he's going to be taking.
Right.
Whatever.
No, I understand
So,
that.
Yeah, it wasn't a hit and run.
Yeah, that was.
No, it definitely wasn't.
I know a lot of people are down on the 8th inning sending the runner from first, trying to score the go ahead run.
Is that the one that got thrown out at third?
He got thrown out at home with
Yeah.
Vlad Jr. on deck. And he's thrown out by a lot.
Yeah.
I don't hate the send. I mean, it looked bad just because the Dodgers hit the perfect relay, but they were banking on not it being a perfect relay. And Vlad Jr. had scored earlier on a very, very bad throw home that he probably would have been out on if it had been a good throw. So
It's not always a bad idea to test the arms. When you need multiple things to go right in the field, you say, especially in that game where there's a lot on the line, and well, it ended up going 18, so that could have saved a lot. But you go, we got to make them make a play, and if they get us, they get us. But there's so many things that can go wrong here. We got to force them to make a play instead of standing up, missing our opportunity. Say Vlad strikes out or hits a weak one on the ground or pops it up, and then you're like, man, we might have been able to have actually scored there if we sent him because so much had to go right. And then you're thinking, why didn't they send him and test the arms?
and I forgot that was actually the 10th inning. So they're already in extras there.
Right.
So I don't hate the send, even though it
Those
looked
kind of
bad.
things are always hindsight. When it works, you're like, great send. When it doesn't, you go, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
The one that bothered me the most was when Isaiah Kiner-Falefa got picked off of third, when there was a sharp liner. It hits off of Freddie Freeman's gloves.
Yeah.
It gets deflected. Tommy Edman comes there, grabs it quick, does a cool slide on his knees,
Yep.
pops back up and guns him down by a country mile. But that was an instance of, trying to think that you're a lot faster than you actually are. And making that last out at third base.
That will not be his worst base running
Yeah.
blunder
Well, that will
in
not
this
be-
series.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we get to Game 7, that exact instance may have cost the Blue Jays the World Series in
100%.
Game 7.
100%.
Because when we get there, he did not have any lead off of third base on that ball that he got thrown out.
We'll get there.
We'll get there because
Yeah,
you and I are
but-
going to yell about that.
But for sure. But foreshadowing that instance where he got, picked off there at third probably influences the lead that he has there, which could have ended the World Series in Game 7.
Anything else on this 18 inning game?
I'm ready to go to
no,
game
I
4.
think that we've already gone just like that game too long on it.
All right, game 4. Who wants to kick it off?
I will again.
Go for it.
After losing Game 3 in 18 innings, every pitcher comes out of the bullpen. You're down in the series 2-1, and you're in LA on the road. That point, losing that 18 inning game, I thought the Blue Jays were cooked at this series. But the Blue Jays showed why they deserved to be in this World Series. They bounced back and they got a huge win. They did not let an 18 inning thriller that they lost on the road kill their spirits. And they came back and they said, hey, this ain't over yet. You may feel like it is, but it's not. We're still here.
If anyone doesn't believe in momentum in sports, this was the World Series for you.
Yeah.
Because
No doubt.
whatever happened previously seemed to have no effect on what happened next.
With Ohtani on the mound that game, too.
Yes.
Who took the loss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put 4 on him in 6 innings.
Yeah,
so.
hit a couple bombs.
Yeah.
Or
Vlad, Vladdy touched him up, I think, for a home run. And
Yep.
I don't think that this was like this was probably like the least exciting of the games that we had within this World Series, but I think it was interesting in the fact that Toronto was unfazed by the 18 inning game that happened the day before.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It was the most, I don't know if it was the least exciting, but it had the least interesting parts. I think having Shohei on the mound, everybody had expectations that this should be a Dodger win to put them up 3-1. And like Nell said, they touched him up pretty good pretty early on, and they just really never recovered in that game. And I thought it was, while it wasn't the most exciting, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it.
It made a statement that Toronto wasn't there by accident.
It was,
Well,
it
for
was one
sure.
of those
a
ones.
generally young team that had the mental fortitude to put an 18-inning, 6-hour thriller that they lost, they were on the wrong side of, behind them, come back the next day and say, all right, that's behind us.
Play
Let's
it.
clean slate.
Yeah.
We're going at it again.
Like I said, when we were talking about who was the better team, when Toronto's 3 wins, they looked like the better team, and this is one of those games.
Yes,
Sure.
And it's. I think they talked about it on the broadcast last night with John Schneider preaching play and move on.
Yep.
We're gonna play, and when it's over, it's over. We're moving on.
Yep.
Not thinking about it, not dwelling on it. And that game right there was the perfect personification of that mantra. It wasn't the greatest game, wasn't the most exciting game, but they proved that you're right. They belonged, and I thought going into Game 5, I thought that was the turning point. I really did.
Yeah, same. And then Game 5 started off with a bang.
Yeah, it did. 2 bangs.
2 bangs. Coming right off of the win, series is tied 2-2, and you've got your Game 1 starter Blake Snell on the mound, who should be your best pitcher, and the first 2 batters just take him deep.
Including Davis Schneider, who a lot of people were like, what are you doing batting him leadoff? He hadn't played much at all in the postseason.
1 pitch.
Yeah, he was not your guy that you're like, oh yeah, we got to lead him off. And then he comes out, first pitch of the game, puts one in the seats.
Yep.
Really, really fun to see. Good for him.
Well, they throw 3 pitches, gave up 2 homers.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was an exciting start.
Yeah, for
It was
sure.
an exciting start, and then it just sort of felt like, from that point on, it felt like Toronto was a bit anointed. Enrique Kike Hernandez hit a home run in the 3rd, and it was like, okay, maybe the Dodgers have a little bit of life, but then the Blue Jays got that right back in the top of the 4th.
Well, and Trey Yesovich just absolutely mowed down the Dodgers.
Yeah.
That was
his final start of
Yeah.
the postseason, which now he has more postseason starts than regular season starts in his career.
What did he make up in?
And-
What did he come up in September?
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, And I mean, he was just
7 innings, 12 strikeouts, just absolutely mowed the Dodgers down.
The way you said that, you made it sound like it was just just another day at the office.
It's kind of turning into that for him.
For him in this
innings,
for
12
him in this
strikeouts,
postseason.
just
Yeah.
lunch pail Trey Savage.
That's him.
This game to me for the Dodgers felt like a strategic forfeit. To me, you got the sense of like, we got rocked early, we're getting rocked again in the second or the third, and we're just not hitting well enough until Kike hits that home run. To me, it just felt like they were saying, "Yep, pack it in. We'll go win it in Toronto. We don't care."
I don't know.
And they-
I don't think you can strategically forfeit any World Series
No,
game.
I'm not saying they did. I'm saying it felt like that.
I agree with you, Tyler, but also they also did a whole lot of kind of let's prep for the other games because they let Snell go 116 pitches.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't see that for Snell. I'm looking at you, Joe Madden, in 2020, pulling Snell so early, and instead they let him go 116 pitches. They're like, we're not going to use up our bullpen. They went with Enriquez and Banda and Trinan, who are all not good in this series.
Well-
and they saved a lot of their bullpen arms and kind of went, all right, let's retool. Let's have our best arms available for the next two.
I appreciate you bringing up Joel Madden because we know he listens to every episode.
Yeah.
and Joel Madden from Good Charlotte.
But Snell was not doing so bad. Like, the only reason that his line looks like the way that it does is because
It was a bad start.
the bullpen let his inherited runners get
Yeah.
cashed in.
I understand that, but you look at his stats specifically, he did not throw a great game.
No, he didn't throw a great game, but I also understand, like, going back to what we were talking about with would Yamamoto get pulled. I think Dave Roberts was just so scared about ever pushing that bullpen button that he was trying to avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah. It was only
very
three
possible.
or what was it? 2-1, 3-1, 3-1
It was
through
3 to 1.
6.
It was 3 to 1.
yeah.
It was 3 to 1 when he got pulled.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't consider that like
And those-
necessarily a bad.
Those inherited runs scored on a walk and a single.
Yep,
Yes.
So,
correct.
yeah, but it's like, you know,
Yeah, Hernandez came in and getting out.
And again,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that the Dodgers did anything in the way of strategic forfeiting. I'm saying it just felt that way compared to the other games. I felt like the rest of the games were obviously very competitive.
Well,
from
they were
both
must
sides.
win after that. So
Well, I know they were must win after that. Never mind.
anyway,
It was a feeling
game 6, though.
on Halloween.
Yamamoto, a name that we will be talking about a lot in the next, the rest of this, comes back, throws another gem. Doesn't go the distance this time, but 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned, 6 Ks,
Earns the
only
win.
1 walk, huh?
Earns the win.
Gets the win in a 3-1 pitcher's duel of a game. Gausman pitched very well again, just had 1 rough inning in the third. One of the few times the Dodgers put up multiple runs in an inning in the entire series. And that was it. That was all the scoring was in the third inning.
Yep.
I cannot. I still when Yamamoto was pulled, I was shocked. I was shocked that he was pulled. I was
At
shocked.
96 pitches.
Yes, I was shocked that he was pulled. I was shocked that he was pulled for Robleski because it's one of those bullpen arms that is not within my circle of trust, and I expected Roberts to sort of ride Yamamoto hard as he had ridden Snell the prior night, just hoping to get you all the way through.
Do you think there was a thought in Dave Roberts' head about I'm going to use him again in Game 7?
No.
Not at all. No,
You don't think so?
You cannot. No, I think that you as soon as
He
you
was
start,
supposed to be the only arm unavailable
I
in
understand
Game
that,
7.
but we all saw what Yamamoto came out and said
I
between
know.
Game 6 and Game 7.
I know, but
you're
you're
not
planning on
expecting
that.
him to say
the,
that.
The plan was for him to not pitch in Game 7 at all.
I'm not saying that was the plan, but do you think that in the back of Dave Roberts' mind,
No.
he had the idea that I may need him?
No.
He's already had an 18-inning game in this series.
I think that I don't think you ever planned for an 18-inning game. An 18.
Well, I know you
game
don't plan
just
for it.
happens to you.
I know
He,
that.
he did not plan on that. He had planned on having every other starter available, which they used them all. But he planned on having everybody but Yamamoto in Game 7.
Well, things didn't work out that way.
But
They did not. But that's what you're planning as the manager there.
But before we get to that,
can we please briefly talk about the bottom of the ninth?
that's what I wanted
Yeah.
to talk
okay.
about.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, back to the
Holy
base runner blunders.
Not only that, but I want to talk also about the dead ball.
Go for it.
I don't know that there's really that much to talk
No,
about.
there's not. Like, by the letter of the law, that was the right call.
Yeah.
However, should that be a dead ball?
I mean,
It's impossible to say.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
why-
impossible to say. We have 4 mics and we have 4 opinions. It's not impossible to say.
I guess here's what I'm saying is someone said it's the jelly jar paradigm, which is
What is that?
Well, I'm going to explain it
Oh,
then.
sorry, Tyler.
I'm not just going to say we all know about the jelly jar paradigm
jelly
and continue
jar.
on with what I'm talking. It's if the fielder goes to there and they start clawing at the ball, trying to pull it out, and it's still stuck, and then the ump comes over there and they pluck it out and it comes
With
out
ease.
easy. It's like, well, yeah, but I was actually working it really hard to get that loosened up for you. By the time you could pluck it
okay.
out,
I see what you're saying.
So if it does get to a point where it is actually like stuck beyond a point where a fielder can actually like get it out, then you're in this really uncomfortable place where it's like, well, how much are we going to ask you to try before we call it a dead ball? And if the ump goes over and investigates and feels like you were just pantomiming that it was stuck, where do we go from there? I think it's a highly valid rule. It gets stuck in that padding, it's a dead ball because
Yeah.
what else are we going to do?
and
Can we
you
also-
can't judgment call it either because there's no way to.
There's no one out in the outfield.
Well, yeah, and there's no way to like replay it and go, oh, well, we let this guy, we called it a dead ball, but it shouldn't have been, and this guy probably would have gotten to third or something like that. Like you can't.
They would have just done second and third anyway. They would have just placed
yeah.
him there
The-
anyway.
and the reason that I bring this up is because, well, for those of you that didn't watch the game or don't know what we're talking about, I don't remember who hit it.
Addison Barger.
Addison Barger, thank you. Hit a liner, left center, and it could not have hit in any way other than the way it hit to land the way it
landed exactly where the ground and the padding
Yes,
meet.
it wasn't a
and
skip.
wedged right
it
in.
wasn't a skip. It wasn't a bounce. It just landed there.
1 degree
Now the-
up or down either
Yeah.
way, and that ball's bouncing around.
Now the ball's visible, and that's my point about should it be a dead ball? Because you go to Wrigley and you hit it into the ivy, it's not visible. It's going to be almost impossible to find. If the ball is at least visible, which if you watch the replay, half of that ball is sticking out from the pad.
It's visible, but
Well,
being
I know
visible doesn't make
No,
it
no,
not jammed.
I know it's not. I know it's. That's not the same thing. It is visible, and half of that ball is sticking out from under the pad. Half of that ball is in the field of play.
That doesn't make it not jammed.
I
though.
do not believe that you could not have picked that ball up. That should not be a dead ball, in my opinion.
I disagree. It should
That's
be
fine.
a dead ball 100%.
I don't
And
at all.
for
think it should
everybody
be.
complaining about it, baseball is a game of bad bounces. It happens all the time.
That's a
you
ga-
see
that's,
one
that's
skip
a
off
play
the
of,
side of
that's
a wall.
play of zero bounces.
Well, but it was the bad bounce of that it didn't. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it didn't get about. How many times do you see a ball hit into foul territory and there's some sort of jagged angle and it hits that and the left fielder is running to the ball, has the right angle, and it bounces and skirts over, or just about any inside the park home run that hits a weird crook in the wall.
I understand
and
that.
goes. It's bad bounces. That one took a bad bounce. If a ball gets stopped
don't buy
from,
it.
if a ball gets stopped from play, it should be a dead ball, and it got stopped from play.
If the Dodgers hit that same thing, I would still be having the same argument.
And I would as well. That it's
I just
a
don't-
dead ball 100%
well,
of the time.
I have good
I
news.
agree by the letter of the law. It is a dead ball.
And
I'm
it
just
should
asking
be.
if I don't
It
think it
should
should
be.
be.
I got
don't
good
think it
news
should
for
be.
Toronto though. Even though that happened, it's second and third with no outs.
One out.
Yeah.
You're in good shape.
We haven't
yeah,
we
no
haven't
outs.
gotten to what
Yeah.
you guys wanted to talk about
Second
yet.
and third, no outs. You're down by 2. Like it's
The
not,
tying run is in scoring
Yes.
position with
it's-
nobody out. now.
It's
Yes.
not definite, but we can do this right
Yeah.
now. So we can do
Absolutely.
this.
Which
Right.
actually, that scenario in Game 6 is quite foreshadowing for Game 7.
It did
so
not.
let's talk about it.
It did not cost them the game, and
No, it didn't, and that's not my point.
and it was called correctly.
I know it was.
Is at the end of the day, it was the correct call, and it didn't cost them the game. What followed cost them the game.
I
That was
agree.
in their control.
And I would like to just last point there. I'm not saying it was called incorrectly,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying it cost them the game. I just don't think it should be a dead ball. Now let's talk about what happened after that.
What happened after that is Ernie Clement popped out. And
Your guy.
that
I
was the big one, to be honest.
I was fully expecting him to cash in those runs.
Oh, you mean the guy who set the record for most hits in a single postseason?
Yes, that very same guy who set the record for the most hits in the postseason, which I think is an amazing statistic given that they had a first round bye.
But they played a lot of games.
They did
still.
play a lot of
Even
games
with
as
the
well,
bye,
yes.
they took the series the full ways.
Yes, I know. What did they get? They get 14, and then they played
Four
against the Yankees.
So,
Okay, so
18 total games, even with the bye. They stretched it out as much as you can from that position.
But yes, I was expecting Clement to cash them in. He did not.
No, he swung at the very first pitch.
and
that
really what he
Glasnow
needed
flew.
to
He was
do-
going to swing at that pitch no matter what. That's what that swing
He had the
was.
giant eyes. I'm swinging first pitch
And
no
at
matter
that
what.
point, you're okay with a sac fly because you still will have a runner in scoring position in less than 2 outs. So getting the ball in the air isn't the problem. But he had to get it somewhere out of the infield.
Well, the sac
You
fly
couldn't
is
have
fine.
an unproductive out.
The sac fly is fine, but it's the runner at second anyway that really matters.
Yes.
So
Right, but
the fact that he popped out just a second, didn't get the sac fly in, didn't really impact anything.
But if instead of hitting it to first base, he hits that about 150 feet further back in right field, the runner on second base advances
Yes.
to third also, and then a sac fly.
Yes, that would have
ties
been
the game.
very, very
So
productive.
He had the right approach. Get the ball in the air to the right side of the field. He just got way under it, and it went 80 feet instead of 280.
it just
which is
rode
what he
right in
needed.
on his hands.
But hey, Nels, no big deal. Okay, we got one out.
Okay.
Okay, we still just one hit is all it takes. We
One
got
hit. You got
second and third.
You got George Springer, who's been
Jimenez.
money all year on
he's,
deck.
He's on deck.
Oh, on deck.
We've got Andres Jimenez, so we get 2 bites at this apple to get 1 hit,
And
right?
Andres Jimenez is a very good bat to ball guy. He doesn't
Yes.
have much power. He's not a massive hitter, but he's a very good put the ball in play guy. So
Yeah.
you're thinking he's not going to strike out here. He's going to put the ball in play and let's make something happen.
and he did.
He did.
He put the ball in play.
Good for you,
And
sir.
something
And
did
somebody
happen.
made something happen. So I have a slightly different take than everybody else. Everybody's going to say, horrid base running move. This was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm not saying that it
I
was.
actually don't
I'm
think
not
it-
saying that it was smart, but the mentality on that play was, on a base hit, we're tying the game. That was the mentality
I
the whole
actually
way through.
agree with you.
I don't think that was 100% on the base runner. I think that was something that they had signs or something for. If this ball hits grass, we're tying this ball game up.
Yep.
Was
And-
the mentality. And it took a very nice play.
If that's their
by
mentality-
Kike Hernandez to get there. Let's not just think that was just some easy pop-up. That was a well-hit ball, sinking line drive, and Kike Hernandez, as much as I hate him, he's the one guy on the Dodgers I truly hate.
Oh, you need to hate more.
No, I hate the Dodgers as a team, but individually, I like most of the players on the team. Kike Hernandez, I do not. But he made a very nice play on that, and they had if this ball touches grass, we're tying it up.
See, now I don't buy that at all because there's 1 out. So even if you're just waiting for it to hit and you get to third, you're tying run at third with George Springer coming up in a sac fly situation. There's no reason why you have to be that aggressive with just 1 out. 2 outs, yes.
But my point is that might have been a team decision.
Then
not
they are
just a
stupid. That's a
that's
stupid
possible, But I'm
decision.
saying that all of the onus might not necessarily need to be on Barger there. That might have been the team decision.
And judging by
base hit
Toronto's
ties it.
base running in this series, it might be on them.
Well,
So I just don't want
the-
without knowing what was going on there, we can't necessarily say that Barger made a mental gaffe there. It might have been the strategy, and it was close enough that he got caught in between.
either way, it was really, really dumb.
gotta
Whether it was his decision or he was told to.
I got to tell you, it's really refreshing that none of us have strong opinions on this series. Tyler, I think you were about to say something before I cut you off.
What I was saying is that ball was hit in such a way where I think that you can make an argument that you could see where that's going to be a single.
Yeah.
And the Blue Jays had been such an aggressive base running team. I kind of half understand where Josh is coming from, but I'm more on Nels' side. Like, that was a base running blunder. Anyone who told him to do that, they are also,
It was a base running blunder, but it may not be all Barger's fault, is what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is you took yourself out of any position to tie that game. Now, mind you, just tie. Who knows what happens if that game, we still might be going to a Game 7 regardless. But that game, when you were looking at the pitching lineup that was lined up for Blue Jays versus Dodgers for Game 7, it certainly felt like Game 6 was the best opportunity.
Game 6?
Yes.
Nice. And on that note,
Game 7. We
well,
got a Game
before
7.
we do that, we got one more ad read. Everybody ready?
Who's sponsoring Game 7?
Monster Jam. Come see Gravedigger, Toro, Unicorn Fart, and Dad's Belt all at the new St. Cloud Fairgrounds on September 11th, 2026. You'll never forget this spectacular meeting of the best that Monster Trucking has to offer. Smoking is allowed. Missing this epic show isn't. Tickets are $12 for adults, $3 per child.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
You're going to pay for the whole seat? You're only going to need the edge.
That's right. All right, let's talk about living on the edge of the seat. Game 7, which also went extra innings.
Game 7, and this is where you talk about the base running issues with Bo Bichette with the bum ankle. Why do you keep him in the lineup? For exactly what happened in the third inning.
And we talked about that because
Boom.
I think I was the one that had said in the thread when you had him on the base path in what was that, the third or the fourth inning?
It was the third that he hit
Yeah.
the home run.
Second.
not- second inning then.
Second inning. Like, so
yeah,
second inning is where we had bad Bo Bichette.
Second inning,
Right.
Him being on the base path.
Somebody
cost the
else
Blue
would have
Jays.
gone first to third. Somebody else would have scored on the next base hit. Instead, he was stranded at third with
Right.
the bases loaded.
Bo
But-
Bichette being on the base path in the second cost them 2 runs. We can all agree on that.
and Bo Bichette not getting taken out of the lineup gave them 3.
Exactly.
Yes.
So he was +1 in those 2 innings.
I get it. So we're all looking at this in hindsight, but in the moment, watching that, I texted the group. I was like, leaving him on the base path, you cost yourself 2 runs. And in a game 7, that could be the difference. Very easily could be. Well, 2 runs would have been the difference here.
Well, but you take him out, there's no shot Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hits that bomb. That's the issue with Bo Bichette
And-
being in the lineup with the bum ankle.
It's the
is that-
duality of man.
well, is that
Is this also the jelly jam predicament, or
but
No,
like-
no. Jelly jar. Jelly jar.
But-
Sorry.
But the issue for the Blue Jays is that their other option was IKF.
Yes.
It's not like
who
they
we'll
have.
get to?
Yeah,
we'll get to him.
It's not like they have some other dude who's even a league average kind of hitter.
Sure.
That you're like, well, he can at least hold his own in the box, and is this worth it to have a guy that can hold their own and maybe get a hit here and there that can run? Or Bo Bichette, who can't run but can still hit really well? Because even when he wasn't hitting bombs, he was still getting on base.
Oh, for
he
sure.
wasn't getting out.
And he was not bad in this game.
The other option is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and he is a wonderful utility guy that can play a bunch of different positions and serves his role. But there is no universe that you look at Bo Bichette with a bum ankle and still go, I think IKF was the right decision there."
Oh, I 100% agree
So
with you.
you had to leave him in. It was unfortunate that he was hobbled and that hurt them on the base paths. But
Just
they
in that
would have
inning.
just. But well, in the
For him,
series,
for
in
him,
the
yeah.
series,
In the series, for
but,
sure.
But my counter is that if you have IKF instead of Bo Bichette, those aren't outs on the base paths because they're outs in the batter's box.
Oh, for sure. And I'm not making the argument at all, and I wasn't last night either, that he should be taken out at that point. My point was just that leaving him on the base path did cost them 2 runs at that point.
He did get pinch run for at the appropriate time in that game.
He did.
Maybe.
Might have been the wrong
We'll
pinch
talk
runner.
about that, but maybe.
Maybe. Interesting.
Maybe.
I'm intrigued.
Well, Bo
let-
Bichette doesn't score on that ball.
Oh, no. We'll get to it.
Okay.
We'll get to it. Let's
Let's start with the fact that the Blue Jays had a 4-2 lead going into the 8th inning.
How'd they get that 4-2 lead?
Well, the Bo Bichette home run.
The Bo Bichette 3-run homer in the 3rd, right?
Yes,
And
and
then
then Andres Jimenez with
Yes.
a double in the 6th. So Toronto's flying high. They're thinking things are good. Max Muncy hits
And-
just
and
an absolute tater
well-
in the 8th inning to cut it to 4-3.
Before we get there, though, I do want to say that was one thing that I was texting with my dad and some of my friends outside of this group chat about too, is that Jimenez double was huge because the way that game was going, 3-2 was not enough.
No.
You needed to add another one on, and immediately, well, not immediately because it was another inning later, but the Muncy home run showed how much they really needed that other run.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen the Giants put up an early big spot on the Dodgers, only to watch the Dodgers very slowly chip away and eventually overtake and win the game.
yeah,
It's very obnoxious.
look, I know that as a team, they're
Just annoying.
statistically they didn't hit super well in that series, but you also have to remember that's a lineup full of great hitters, and you can't leave them the door to get back in it, because even if they're statistically not playing well, they've got great hitters that can flip the switch. And Max Muncy did that. He was terrible for most of the series, but that was a huge home run to bring it back to within one, and all of a sudden it's a game.
The Blue Jays shut the door. They didn't lock it.
There's I think overlooked in the bottom of the 8th inning, Ernie Clement had a leadoff double and just stayed there.
Yep.
Well, but not only that, he stayed there only by virtue of Max Muncy being in the exact right spot.
Yeah, a line out with him,
I think,
60 feet from home plate?
Yeah, they pulled in the corners thinking that Andreas Jimenez
was going to bunt him over.
Yep.
And Andreas Jimenez, who I think had, I believe he had made like he was going to bunt twice, taken 2 balls.
Yeah.
And then
Pulled it back.
And did the old slash play.
And hit a slapping liner.
Yeah, I think
a rocket.
I think Nell said this in the group chat that the ball caught him more than Max Muncy caught the ball.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those bad breaks where if that ball is hit, 2 feet higher up, 2 feet further towards the shortstop side, or 2 feet higher,
Or even lower, maybe. It eats him
yeah,
up.
exactly.
Take a short hop on a
It was like
scorcher.
right at his head where he just throws his glove up.
Yes. And so, like, that was just a huge moment in the game.
But I will say, too, like, we're talking about that. The Blue Jays even had a lead because of Vlad Guerrero Jr. and his defense in that game.
Yes.
Turning that, 3-6-3 double play.
Yep.
Real quick instincts, just about a foot off the bag. Most first basemen would take that out at first on that. Turns, puts a perfect throw right over the head of the runner.
Yep.
Gets back, gets that double play. And then the line drive down the line.
Not to mention the one he was on the line for.
Yeah, that he made an incredible diving play.
Yep.
I mean, this game in particular, this whole series had a lot of really good defense. This game in particular
Yep.
had a lot on both sides. Fantastic defensive plays.
Yep.
Including, was that this game or was it game 6 that Varsho made the diving play to keep him to 1 run? I think that was in this game.
That was this game.
Yeah,
Because it was a sac fly.
second and third, 1 out, and it was a sinking line drive.
Yep.
And he makes the diving play, holds him to just the 1 run instead of that ball gets down.
Yeah, it was
It's
a 6th inning, so it was a sac fly.
Yeah, it's 2, maybe more. I mean, just a bunch of fantastic defense.
Great defensive plays all around.
Then the 9th inning happened.
Then the 9th inning happened.
Oh, boy.
And I do want to talk about something that I don't know if you guys quite would be thinking about when it comes to that Rojas home run. So it's 3-2, right? And you're not thinking Rojas is going to be the one to hit it out, but he got an absolute cookie of a pitch. I think, and I know that we
I've heard
harp.
of meatball. Is that the same as cookie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I've heard that before.
I think, we end up giving a lot of announcers crap for talking about impacts of players when they're not involved in plays and just like being around. I think that home run was purely because Shohei Ohtani was on deck.
Absolutely.
If it's not Shohei Ohtani up next, they're not as scared to throw ball 4 and put that tying run on base.
100%.
Yep.
It's one of those things where Ohtani impacted the game without even having to be there.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason that you throw that meatball right there is because you're so scared of putting a runner on base with less than 2 outs and Ohtani coming up that you said, well, I'm just going to have to throw a strike and hope Rojas doesn't put it in the seats.
Yep.
And Rojas, to his credit, put it in the seats.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays were 2 outs away from winning the World Series.
Yes.
In that moment.
Yes, they were. Okay.
But that's the Shohei Ohtani effect. He changes the way people pitch the game. And there's Shohei Ohtani's not the only one. Aaron Judge, Vlad Guerrero is a guy that's like that. That's what makes superstars in baseball
Cal
truly
Raleigh.
superstars, is that it's not about when you're up every time. It's about what happens to the guys in front of you because they're scared of you coming up.
Yep.
I know watching Barry Bonds for years,
Yes.
their opponents knew where he was in
Yes,
the lineup at
exactly.
all times, and how are we going to pitch to that?
And that was exactly what happened there.
Yes.
You wish that count doesn't go 3-2 because they're like, a hit's a hit, but you can't give up the free base with Shohei coming up as, the go-ahead run at the plate. And
I know that's not the
they left it over.
I know that's not the prevailing thought, but Didn't a little portion of you, like, if you're thinking, because we all do this, we think about when we were kids or teenagers and, we wanted to be in this 9th inning World Series Game 7 scenario. Didn't a little part of you think, throw in ball 4 and let's pitch to Shohei?
No, not at all.
If you don't have a little bit inside of you that wants to beat the best?
No. I want to win a championship, and whatever gives me the best chance to win a championship is what I'm doing.
I'm asking.
He got Shohei out after giving up a game-tying home run in the bottom of the ninth.
Barely, though. He put a good swing on that, and it got warning track. It was not like a weak pop-up.
I saw a little bit in that look. Is there a little bit of you that wants to beat the best?
No, I was advocating walking Shohei Ohtani.
Either you guys are nuts or I'm a psychopath, because a little bit of me was like, I want to throw to Shohei.
I want Parkman. No. This is not Major League 2.
Also,
no, I know that.
Okay, you might get me on that mindset in a lot of different scenarios. You're up 1 in the bottom of the 9th in Game 7 of the World Series. I don't want to get beat. I just want to win and get a championship.
I understand.
I don't necessarily need it to be WBC, Shohei striking out Mike Trout situation. I just need a win.
That's why I'm not saying the prevailing thought. I'm just saying, is there not 1% of you that was like, man, I just want to strike out Shohei, or I want to get him to ground out? Oh man, I would have loved to have done that.
0%.
I have 0% chance of doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why it's a fantasy.
Shohei made an out, then Will Smith made the last out he would make for the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we went to the 9th inning. The bottom of the 9th inning.
Ooh, tell us about it, Nuts.
Well, first of all, Vlad Guerrero on a 3-0 pitch missed a game-winning walk-off World Series winning home run by, a half centimeter on his bat?
Yeah, 8 feet.
Not even.
Distance.
Like,
and if he doesn't go dead center,
exactly.
If he goes 30 feet left or right, it's got the distance. He hit it to the deepest part of the park, basically to the wall.
Yep. Then
I think we all thought it was out too.
I think everyone in that stadium thought it was out,
and that would have been the coolest moment ever. As Vladdy, born in Canada because he was born in Montreal when his dad was playing for the Expos, only ever played for the Blue Jays, just signed a 13-year deal to stay with them his entire career. To be that Canadian guy on the Canadian team, to have been able to do that, that would have been the coolest moment possible.
Not that Vladdy's ever buying a drink again in his life in Toronto. I don't know that he would have had to buy a house again in Toronto.
We're going to crowdfund your mansion, sir.
Right.
Yeah, $300 million contract he signed aside that he could afford whatever
I'm sorry,
he
you
wants.
guys know how crazy Maple Leafs fans are. You don't think Blue Jays fans would be like, we got a championship, we're buying that house.
100%.
Vladdy just comes over for a dinner party and he's like, nice house, and someone just tosses him the keys. Yours now, man.
I will take this now. Thank you for all your cars as well.
Anybody who just loves great moments in sports
That
was
would have been
rooting
amazing.
for that. That would have been as cool of a finish as you could have possibly gotten.
And overall,
but we were about 8 feet short of that.
But overall, Vladimir Guerrero had an awesome World Series.
yeah.
He was easily the MVP of the World Series had they won that game.
Yes.
Oh, you think it was him over Savage?
Yes, 100%.
I would have even thrown Barger in there.
I know you would. You want to throw Ernie in there too.
Well, I don't think Ernie rates. Ernie did a great job.
Barger had the best batting average of anybody in the series.
Vlad was also very visibly the leader of that team.
Oh, yeah.
Everything happening, he was the one. He showed, I'm not just a great player. I am everything you need on any sort of sports team. And I am the leader. I am the heart and soul. All of these young guys, they look to me, and I will be there as their rock.
And I'm not just a bloated contract.
I think
I am the guy.
He proved that he's going to deserve, even, we all know the 13 years, a guy of his stature, the last few years are going to look rough on the contract. He earned every penny of that contract.
See Albert Pujols.
So, Vlad flies out. Good shape, though, because the other homegrown kid, Bo Bichette, hits a single, and we're finally going to pinch run for him.
And this is where...
bring in Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
And this is where I want to ask Tyler. I said this was the perfect place to pinch run.
You have to.
But you said
he's the
you
winning
didn't
run.
think so.
So the thing that I would say,
a double in the gap, he's not scoring. IKF has a shot.
Same result if you don't take him out.
Here's the thing: a double in the gap, yes, he's not scoring. The thing is there was already one out. I might have here's what I'll say. So immediately after this, what happens? There's
Barger walked.
A walk. So
Worked an incredible AB to walk,
As
too.
soon as Barger walks, he's getting pinch run for. Like at that moment, I'm pinch running for him. When he's on first with one out, I might give a little.
I don't know
pause.
because
With one
you're-
out, you got the double play.
Well, yeah, and you're looking at Addison Barger, who, I mean, he showed with the controversial ball getting stuck in the wall. His best asset is driving the ball to the gap. Like,
Yes.
that's what he does offensively. So you want a guy on first that can score on the ball in the gap because that's what Barger does.
Yeah.
He's not a, put the ball in play, get a single station to station kind of hitter. He's not a big time home run hitter. He's got some power. He can hit home runs. But where he makes his money is in the gaps.
It's splitting narrow hairs just because of what happened. And I tell you, I would have 100% pinch run for him as soon as he's on second after that walk.
Sure.
So-
but anyway,
but
the
not-
right guy is on second
but not
base
first.
when it
But not
comes to
first.
that
Yeah,
point.
Interested.
So they bring in Yamamoto. And he immediately-
Yamamoto, who pitches 6 innings and 96 pitches the day before
Yep.
on 0 rest, and says, "Hey, coach, put me in."
And he immediately plunks Alejandro Clerk to load the bases with one out. Here's the Blue Jays' chance.
I'm actually watching that play right
You
now.
don't need a hit to win the World Series.
Just need a
Dalton
deep fly
Varsho
ball
is up.
or a ground ball that gets into the hole, and he
And
can
it
make a
was-
stop, but in the hole.
He hit a ground ball to second, and
with Rojas in.
Rojas kind of double clutches it, falls backwards.
Yep.
He's off balance.
Yep.
and throws
delivers
home.
a perfect throw, though.
And here is where we need to talk.
Yes.
Because Kiner Falefa had zero
lead.
secondary
No
lead.
secondary
at
lead.
Had
third.
zero primary lead.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
He was at least off the base, but not by much.
And I
he
wasn't
was-
really thinking about that in the moment. I'm just like, oh man, he was really slow. And then I'm like, his reaction time was actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
But he was all the way back, and I didn't really think that hard about it until I was talking to my dad on the way over here.
Yeah.
And he's like, he had zero secondary lead. And then I
Nothing.
went back and looked. I'm like, he was like one step off the base
If
when the
that.
bat hit the ball.
If
And that's
that.
where we were talking earlier about him
Yes.
getting caught at third base. I wonder if that's in his head, and he's like, I can't get caught off third base here.
It's got to be part of the thinking, but at the same time, a secondary lead on one step is just another step.
Yeah.
One more step, he is safe, and they have it tied.
I also have another
Or
kind
walked
of.
it off.
I had another thought about this too. That's a little off the beaten path of thought, but you know how you're always taught when you're running to first, never slide, run through because you can run through.
You're
the base
stealing
and
my
be-
thunder.
Oh, was that what you were thinking
yes.
too? Yeah, but
Mythbusters already broke that myth.
instinct is always sliding into home. I know, but I wonder if he gets there a half step faster if he doesn't slide.
He does.
Hits the dirt and
Yep.
just runs through it because it's not a tag play. It's a force.
And
so
not-
you're running through it, and Will Smith is out reaching in
He
front of the
steps
plate
off the
on
bat.
the, on
He
the
steps
first
off the
base
plate.
side. There's no chance you're going to run into him and get that call of running through the catcher or anything.
And from
That-
a pure speed standpoint,
Yeah.
when you watch the slow-mo replay, you can see that Kiner Falefa's leading leg like scrapes and hits the ground a couple of times,
Yep.
skipping across it.
that friction slows down.
Yeah, definitely took some speed off.
I
the
have-
combination
well,
of no secondary lead and then just not running through home
And
plate.
you take whether he runs through it or has a secondary lead, it's less than a half a step that he was out by.
It was a cleat spike.
And Will Smith came off home
He
plate
did. I thought
for a hot second.
I thought for a second there the foot
I know.
hovered for
Yeah.
too long.
Either way, if
And that
he's
would have been a hell of a way
another
for a
step
World
lead,
Series
or
to
if
end.
he runs through either one of those things,
he's
he's safe.
He's safe.
The Blue Jays
And they
are
win
World
the World
Series
Series.
champions.
And that I'm going to say it. I don't care what people think about it. It's inexcusable.
Yes.
There is no reason at all. Third base coach, I would fire him today for that because
Well,
he
whoever.
third base coach is standing right there. He has to be the one that verbalizes to Kiner Falefa, take another lead, take another step,
Yeah.
get ready to go.
Yeah.
Run through to home if they're
Yes.
throwing
And-
home.
And they're not going to try to pick you off
No.
at third because everybody's playing double play depth because
Yeah.
the one thing
They're playing in.
The one thing that they need
You
is
throw
a
it
double play.
You throw it away on a pickoff attempt, game's over anyway.
Yeah,
so they're not doing it.
And they're just like, we either need to be they're in on the corners to a
all
shallow
in.
ground ball, but they're also like the worst thing they can have, double play. They're looking
Yep.
for either a double play or cutting the runner down at home. Nobody is thinking pick off there.
Nope, nobody. Kiner Falefa, You should have been the winning run.
Yes.
And you weren't, and that is on you, and that is on the third base coach.
This is like the blessing and the curse of Bo Bichette because of his bum leg, he couldn't do things on the base path, and then Kiner Falefa got put in to run for Bo Bichette, and Kiner Falefa was a poor pinch runner.
Yes.
In at least 2 instances, maybe even more. Maybe there are more that are sort of like sneaking underneath the radar where he didn't take the extra base when he should have.
Yep.
But man, like the fact that that was the best option that they had to go to, and they were thinking primarily about, well, we're going to pinch run Kiner Falefa because he's also going to play second once Bichette comes out. I don't think they had any better speed on there, but man, I wish they did.
They didn't.
And you didn't necessarily have to have crazy speed. You just had to have someone with the base running fortitude to have a secondary lead. Because with a secondary lead, you're 30 feet down the line when he swings the bat.
Yeah, and the third baseman's in front of you because he's playing in, so you're not prone to a snap throw down.
Yeah.
To catch you.
Josh Naylor stole 30 bases? He's not fast.
No.
He's like 0%.
There's a big difference between being fast and being a good base runner.
But after all of that, the bases are still loaded and 2 outs. You still have an opportunity, and Mr. Most hits in postseason in a single postseason in history is up to bat. So you're still feeling that sucked. We should have won it there. We've got a chance, and somehow this might have even been a crazier play.
It was a crazier play.
It's different, but it's crazy.
So the outfielders are almost inexplicably very shallow.
I can explain it. I can explain it.
Why?
Because
There's 2 outs.
yes, it's 2 outs, but you have to look at the Ernie Clement spray chart of where he hits. And being
Real quick, good band name.
Yeah, Ernie Clement spray chart.
Yes.
And so everything that he's hitting is falling in that zone.
Sure.
So they were essentially pulling in to cut off that zone, knowing that he doesn't have a lot of pop to shoot it over their heads.
And then, what does he do?
He shoots it over their heads!
And somehow
It hung up just long enough.
This is
and
too
the
late
center
on
fielder-
track.
But leading up to this,
We're
actually,
gonna blow the speakers out on this episode.
2 plays ago, Dave Roberts pulled the ultimate lever, which he pulled Tommy Edman out of center field.
Yep.
He put Andy Pages, who hadn't been hitting at all, into center field.
Defensive replacement.
But Edmund has a balky leg. Pages is a much better center fielder. And then Pages chases that ball down all the way to the wall.
All while trucking Kike.
Runs
Body
through
chucks
Kike and pulls it in. I thought off the bat, this ball is way over their heads. This is going to win the game. And then they collide. And I'm like, oh, they might have a chance to catch it. Then they collide. And I go, that's going to knock it down and end it. And then he's standing
And
there.
Pages has it?
Pages stayed up because he has a bigger body, just trucked Kike to the ground and said, nope,
And
extras
as much as that play sucked, I did have to chuckle a little bit because Pages does not pay attention to Kike at all. After he catches it, he's just like, whatever.
You could tell that he was just
scrape him
tracking
off the
ball
ground.
away.
He
Kike
wouldn't
was
care.
down for a while,
Yeah.
and I can't tell whether that was like a, oh man, I can't believe
Sigh
that
of
just
relief,
happened.
we got that.
Sigh of relief, anything like that.
He probably thought the ball wasn't caught.
I don't
and
know.
He's just sitting there wallowing like, oh my God, we just lost the World Series.
It could have been that too, but then like after everything happened, he pops up with a big smile on his face, so he wasn't hurt that badly.
He was looking for his rec specs.
Yeah.
No, it was one of those kind of you get the wind knocked out of you a little bit where you're just a little shaken, your bell's a little rung, but then at the end of it you're like, oh, never mind, it wasn't that bad. I'm okay. And most importantly, we're okay as a team.
we're okay.
So after all that, you're thinking, okay, that's it. Blue Jays blew it. There's no way they're going to win. Dodgers themselves get the bases loaded with 1 out in the 10th inning, going extras again now, and they don't score. They fumbled their own opportunity to take the lead, and you're thinking, all right, maybe we got a shot.
And I'll tell you what, that final out, Sir Anthony Dominguez made us sweat a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit. Bottom of the 10th, 1, 2, 3. Top of the 11th, that's when Will Smith hits a home run off Bieber.
Yeah, Shane Bieber comes in to relieve Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yep.
And maybe the guy coming off of Tommy John surgery wasn't quite as crisp as he needed to be on short rest.
But I want to give so much credit to Will Smith in a way that I haven't heard anybody bring up. This game went 11. The game 3 went 18 innings. So essentially they played a little over 8 full games. Will Smith played every single inning as a catcher. That is absolute insanity. He caught 18 innings and then turned around and 15 hours later caught a full another 9, and he's in there after I don't even know how many innings that is now at that point, and he still has the legs to put one out. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It sucked to happen because we didn't want the Dodgers to win, but it is incredible that a catcher can catch essentially 8 full games plus a couple innings and then be the guy to have the legs to put one out to win it.
Yeah, good for him.
I prefer the Will Smith that smacks Chris Rock.
I did see the fun meme of this is the 6th straight year Will Smith has won the World Series.
Yep.
Because the reliever,
relief pitcher Will Smith.
going back to 2020 between the two of them.
Yeah, because he won 4 straight.
He won 3.
3?
Will Smith won in 2020.
2020
Dodger
was Will Smith, and then 3 straight on different teams.
Yeah, for reliever
Will Smith, and then 2 more for Dodger Will Smith.
So now we're into the bottom of the 11th.
And then Vladdy
It's
does
the only way the Blue Jays could possibly lose this was a leadoff double by Vladdy. You're thinking, all right, we got a shot.
Yeah, and he did he did exactly why I said that he would have been the MVP, because he comes up in that spot, ripped a double.
Yeah, right down the line. IKF bunts him over. Beautiful bunt.
And I will say, yeah, for all the crap we've given IKF, it was a perfect bunt.
Yeah.
That was the only good thing he did in this game.
He did. Barger walks on 4 straight pitches. I don't remember how cllose they were. Were they just pitching
weren't
around
terribly
him?
close.
I will say ball 4 had been called a strike a lot in this game.
But it was clear that the mindset,
Because this is a sack fly situation
was
now.
Alejandro Kirk cannot run, so we can end this game on a double play.
Hey, what happened?
Exactly that.
Just couldn't hit it on the ground. You just could not hit it on the ground.
And the thing with Kirk too is that he is one of the best bat to ball guys in the league. This guy does not strike out at all. He had 50 strikeouts all season. You know he's going to put the ball in play, and they're just hoping it's on the ground so that they can turn it. And that's the one thing, you can't put it on the ground.
Yep.
And he did.
Yep.
And he did, and the Dodgers win, and that sucks.
On to football.
And college basketball starts tomorrow.
And here's how we announce our new football podcast, Swing and a Kick.
Yes.
No, we're not going to do that.
Named after Cam Little's NFL record 68-yard field goal today.
Yes. That's exactly what we're going to do.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
But anyway, capping it all off, very, very good World Series. I know the result isn't what we wanted, but I will say this series was very good for baseball. And I know people will be like, Dodgers winning again with their bloated payroll is bad for baseball. A
lot of teams with bloated payrolls that didn't get this far.
I had friends texting me that don't watch baseball being like, I don't watch baseball much, but I know that you're a nerd with it and you watch all these games. Is it just me, or is this legitimately the best World Series? If you didn't have a rooting interest, which I know for Nels, this was a terrible one because pure hatred of the Dodgers. But if you're just watching objectively, if you're just a casual observer watching playoff baseball, this series, I think, at least from people that I've talked to, I was getting texts from people who are not baseball people that are like, maybe I need to start watching baseball. That was electric. And then I'm going to turn them on to the WBC, and that's going to continue that.
Don't you worry. We're going to have WBC coverage.
But I think this World Series, the way it played out, it very easily could have been terrible for baseball. Dodgers sweep. It's not close, and everybody's complaining. Even though the Dodgers won, I think this was about as good of an outcome as you could possibly have. If you're Rob Manfred, you just looked at the greatest successful series that you could have asked.
Suck it, Rob Manfred.
I think that what this series did, and why it was so exciting, number one, it did need to be a big market team like the Dodgers in there to bring it in there. But then also on the Dodgers, on the Blue Jays, you have all of these really fun personalities.
For sure.
It
was not devoid of stars coming in and then stars who were made in the process.
Exactly. I had a lot of people looking at Alejandro Kirk and being like, how is he a professional athlete?
Wait till they see Daniel Vogelbach.
Right.
Well, Kirk's a much better hitter than Vogelbach was.
Well, That's true.
But I'm like, yeah, he's Mexican. He is 5 foot nothing, and he weighs about 230 pounds, and he's one of the best
pure hitters.
He's one of the best hitters in the game.
230 might be selling him a little short. He's a good 250.
Well, he's also very short.
Very short.
He's a chubby
It doesn't
fella.
take as many pounds to make somebody that height appear large.
He's a chubby fella.
But yeah, and then you get the breakout of Trey Savage in this postseason after 4 career regular season starts. You get Yamamoto, who people who follow baseball knew Yamamoto was good. He etched himself as like, this is a guy everybody who watched anything in this series will know his name forever.
I don't know that any of us knew he was this good.
Shohei was obviously the star everybody expected, but
Not on the mound. Not on the mound.
But 9 times on base in a single postseason game with 2 home runs and 2 doubles.
He got rocked
he put
on the
up
mound.
a record performance from the plate. Freddie Freeman, again, another clutch home run in the 18th inning of that game. He didn't have the greatest series in the world, but guess what? He brought it home with another clutch, because all he does is hit clutch postseason home run.
Yep.
It had a little bit of everything. It had the guys that you expect coming in big moments, and some guys that you didn't expect really showing up.
Nels looks despondent.
I know, because
the odds came out for next year's World Series.
Oh, jeez.
Dodgers are plus 350. No other team is under 1,000. It's just like, okay, what's the point of next year's season?
That'll change once free agency happens.
If it makes you feel any better, my buddy texted me his bet slip that he did preseason for the Dodgers to win the World Series this year, and it was plus 275. So their odds have gone down for the next year. So if it took them 11 innings in Game 7 at plus 275, plus 350 means that they're cooked.
And remember that in 2024, the Blue Jays had a losing record. So, hope springs eternal. We are now 100 days from pitchers and catchers reporting.
136 from the World Baseball Classic.
Yep. About 143 from the first pitch of the regular season.
Maybe the Dodgers end up missing the playoffs.
No,
they get off. They get off to a bad start.
I will give you $10,000 cash money if they do not make the playoffs next year.
Can you let me finish my statement?
Let's time track that one.
Can I have the $10,000?
Because
it's not even a bet. I'll just give you the money.
Japan has now become the minor league system for the Dodgers, and every one of those players is playing in the WBC.
Yep.
So maybe they get off to a tough start because all those guys get tired off early.
Okay, and then they're going to make the playoffs and win the World Series again. So they didn't have a great regular season. They won the West, but they didn't get one of the top seeds.
Nope.
Didn't matter because they played the Reds in the first round, so it's practically a bye anyway.
Thanks a lot, Tito.
But watch out, because the Giants are a-coming.
Wait. You can't say thanks a lot, Tito, over there, Mr. I'm going with the Reds. They're going to make the playoffs. The Mets are the worst team on the planet. You think the Mets would have fared better?
No. And I'm also not being that sarcastic. Tito did a great job this year.
Yeah.
I love Tito.
So I'm just saying, Mr. riding the Reds the whole way, and the Mets are the worst team I've ever seen.
Well, I never said that.
That was the other option.
Check the tapes.
It was the Mets. So
well, I still don't think the Mets would have fared better, but the Reds were much improved this year, and Tito did a great job. And I'm excited to see what Tito does next year. He's one of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest managers of all time. So
yep, and everybody better enjoy next year because that might be it for a while.
It might be.
But we can get into that in off-season talk.
Real quick, before we get into trivia, I would like to say something. We started this. Yes. So no, from Josh, so I can't say anything. We started this podcast as something fun and creative to do with, at the time, 5 friends. Now it's 4. Unfortunately, Rodrigo had to leave the show, but I know he still listens. We started this just to do something fun, and I can't tell you the number of people that I talk to on a weekly basis, who I talk to on the phone, who I text with, who say this is the year they've listened to us and they've watched more baseball than they ever have in their entire life, that they've learned more about baseball than they ever knew. And that is a really happy byproduct. We did not intend for that. We intended for people that were nerds and dorks like us to listen to this show and get to listen to our stupid opinions about baseball. But the fact that we've brought people into the fold, I think is really cool. So I give yourselves a round of applause internally.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And shout out to to Jake from Detroit, one of our biggest fans. It's been fun talking with you, Jake. Always.
Absolutely.
We talk all the time anyway, but it's been fun talking to you about baseball instead of just Michigan football and basketball.
And Bill says, hey.
Oh, hey, Bill.
All right,
Congratulations on your World Series victory. And yeah, we've had, Tyler's sister interact with the show. We've had Nels' mom interact with the show. Josh's dad's been on the show. My parents have given me, listener questions that we talked about. Producer man, thank you so much for your contributions.
We've had some guests, both calling in and in person when we had Alex here.
Big Alex was here.
In studio guest. Yes.
And
We also had Rob from Columbus talk about the Guardians. We just had a ton of interaction with a lot of people, and we can't thank you enough for listening and being a part of this run. But it's not over.
Nope.
This is not the last episode.
No, we will have a lot of fun off-season content.
Oh, I've got so many things that I want
It will be so stupid.
we will be playing a lot of armchair general manager for a lot of stuff. So if you're interested in like fantasy sports, we're basically going to be in fantasy sports mode.
Wow.
Putting together
Don't excite them too
some
much.
teams. Yeah. and then
I am
Come
going
March.
to be a mage.
yeah, if you aren't super interested in the off-season stuff, but you're looking for good baseball stuff around the season, please tune back in late February and early March, because we're going to be in World Baseball Classic mode. And let me tell you, that is my favorite event of any sporting event, period. It's going to be a lot of fun. So even if you take a little bit of time off in the off-season, please come back in late February, early March while we talk about the World Baseball Classic, because that is fun.
But also, please don't take time off in the offseason.
No, we would appreciate if you continue, but
we
just be sure to be back by late February, early March.
We may do another live broadcast for the World Baseball Classic. I think that could be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We haven't really talked about the offseason. As you can tell, we're just spitballing ideas.
Yeah.
But we got a lot to talk about.
Which also means if anybody has any things that they want to hear about in the off season when we're not going to be talking about what has happened for 45 minutes, what's actually going on. If there's any topics, especially for those who aren't big baseball fans that want us to talk about different rules, different ways to construct roster, whatever it is that you have questions about, feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to talk about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, swingandamisspod@gmail.com. Get on the socials, Swing and a Miss Podcast. Tyler has been very active on Twitter lately. You haven't argued with anybody lately, have you?
That's not how I use social media.
No, that's me.
no,
that's what I do.
Nels. Sorry.
Yes.
Nels, have you argued with anyone on Twitter lately?
Not on our account.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, no, wait. Argue on our account. Get more likes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they don't like that. We'll get interaction. We won't get likes.
So should we move into some season-ending trivia?
Let's round it out with some World Series trivia. You guys may do great at this or you may do terrible. I'm not sure which one. Who wants to
What if
start?
we do mediocre? I'll do it.
It's not allowed to be mediocre.
I'll start.
You're going to start. Okay, 1 second. Thank you, sir.
7.
That's the answer you're going to go with blindly?
Oh, that's
7?
making math.
How many games does the World Series go in 2026? 7.
What? That's
3.
That's not trivia. That's a prediction. All right, question 1, Josh. What year was the first World Series played?
1903.
Wow. Bingo.
Bada bing.
All right, we going left or right? Tyler. What National League team refused to play the Boston Americans in 1904, causing the World Series to be canceled?
Oh, let's roll it out with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Negative.
All right.
Nelson?
Dang, that was my guess too. The Phillies.
Negative.
Because there's only 2 National League teams left at this point. That's all the teams they had. So
Oh,
you got
it's
a
a team
50
from the National League.
You got a 50-50 shot then, Josh.
there are only like 8 teams in baseball in 1904.
That's true, and they played on the same farm field.
Yeah, who was even in the National League? I don't even know, because I was going to say the Yankees, because just the Yankees are the big bad men, but obviously
Cincinnati
they're
Reds?
American.
Negative and negative.
Boston Beaneaters.
Negative.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Tyler?
The New York Giants.
The New York Baseball Giants.
New York Giants.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very good. Only took us 8
I'm
guesses
like,
to get
I'm
there.
like, who am I forgetting here? The New York Giants.
The
Do you
What's-
know why?
Were they still the
All hail
did
the
not
New
write
York
down
Giants.
it's the fighting Mike Francesas. All right, Nels.
Oh.
What player holds the record for most World Series home runs, and how many World Series did he play in?
I will say Bernie Williams.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Babe Ruth.
Incorrect.
What was the question?
Most World Series home runs.
Who
and then
holds
how
the
many
record for the
games.
most World Series home runs, and how many World Series did he play?
Like over their career, yes.
Yes,
over
career.
their career. Let's go
And
with
it's-
Mr. October, Reggie Jackson.
It's not him. It's also not Mark Grace, for what it's worth.
He'd never.
I know.
Sorry.
It's gotta be.
I'm aware.
It's gotta be a Yankee.
It is a Yankee.
Mickey Mantle.
Correct.
All right.
And how many World Series did he play in?
7?
Not
I can't. Oh, he was my center
8?
fielder too. I should know this.
Not correct. Not 8. You're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
10.
Are you Googling the answer?
No, he's not.
Tyler, say a number higher than 8.
12.
You got it.
Hey.
You sure he's not Googling it?
Not Google.
No, he's got the New York Giants Wikipedia.
I'm very
page
curious why the New York Giants refused to play in that World
I don't
Series.
know.
up. Can confirm as the one on this side of the table
Probably
and
should've.
screen peeking. It's the New York Giants Wikipedia page.
Probably should have looked that up, but I didn't. So apologies out there for those that are trivia geeks. All right, Yeshua. What team won the first indoor game in World Series history, and in what year?
Indoor game.
You shush over there.
Blue Jays in 92.
Incorrect and incorrect.
Oh no, because okay. I know the answer now, but you can go for it.
Minnesota Twins,
Yeah.
1987.
Year
Metrodome.
I was born.
I was thinking what
87.
What teams would have played in a dome, and I was thinking Toronto. I forgot that the Metrodome.
Played in the
I have
best
a-
dome ever.
I have a birthday.
Trash bags on the walls.
I have a birthday coming up in a few months. If any listener wants to send us a gift of cash so we can buy all new equipment. No, we're not buying new equipment, but we could get a studio. That'd be great.
Yes.
Okay, our last trivia question for the World Series.
Yeah.
Tyler, who was the oldest World Series MVP, and how old were they?
Man, I feel very unconfident in the answer of Randy Johnson, and I will say 38.
Incorrect.
Man.
I know.
Jack Morris?
Incorrect.
Damn it.
Derek Jeter.
Also incorrect.
I didn't
All
know
good
how
guesses,
old.
though.
I don't know if he won the World
guys
Series
can't read it
MVP
in the
in
window,
08.
can you?
No. If we could, we wouldn't have all just gotten that wrong.
We
make a good
We need
point.
to keep going.
Yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
Bartolo Colon.
Wow, Tyler, you sound so different. No, it was
see
not
here.
Bartolo Colon, so don't guess that.
Pass.
It was not him.
No, I'm struggling to come up with an
Edgar Renteria.
No,
Reggie Jackson.
no.
Still pass.
91, 92. Joe Carter.
No.
I'm out.
We're going to keep going until we hit 2 hours.
Cole Hamels.
That's a good guess, though.
Kurt
Jamie
Schilling.
Moyer.
Who?
Kurt Schilling.
No,
David Ortiz.
no.
I'm pretty sure every listener is tuned out by now.
Thank you for listening if
think-
you're still here.
I think you got to give it to
Alex
us now.
Rodriguez.
Willie Stargell.
Willie Stargell.
1979 at 39 years old.
Okay. Good for Willie.
So on my next birthday, it's time for me to win the World Series MVP, guys.
Yep.
Gotta get loose now.
Hitting your prime.
That's right.
I still have time.
You got a few years, not that many.
You still have a few years. You can be the next manager for the Nationals.
Yeah.
Manager of the Nationals.
I know. I'm only 3 years younger.
I thought he was 30.
33.
Oh, he's 33.
I'm 30.
I know you're 30. I remember your birthday. All right, kids. That is our World Series recap. Thank you, everybody who listened all season long. I know there are a handful of you nutbags, so thank you so much. Again, get at us on our email, swingindamisspod@gmail.com. All our socials, Swinging a Miss Podcast. We'll be back in a couple of weeks to start the off-season shenanigans because it's going to have to get weird. We can't talk in-depth baseball every week.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to bring my laptop and out of the park baseball, and we'll just create our own teams and general manage.
I was going to say this. Why don't we do this for the first off-season show? Write us an email or get on our socials and ask us anything you've ever wanted to know about baseball or us,
Yeah.
or how we met, or where we live, or what we do. We're not going to tell you what we do. I shouldn't
Or
have said
social
that.
security numbers.
Yeah,
whatever you want.
routing number, account number, my mother's maiden name, my first
One
pet's
special
name.
winner will get a credit card
What? In your name.
out of our wallet.
We're opening it in your name. Okay. Any last thoughts, guys?
I'm ready for the World Baseball Classic.
Sorry, Toronto, and congratulations, Los Angeles fans.
I hate the Dodgers.
I need a break from baseball.
Fair enough.
Well, good news. You'll have a break.
All right, guys. Play the game. Love the game. We'll talk to you in a few weeks. Bye.
Bye.